You are now listening to the iWalter Show. Real talk about nothing.
Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. Look, up in the sky, it's a bird brain, it's a plane, it's iWalter. Yes, it's iWalter, strange visitor from another planet who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. iWalter, who can change the course of mighty rivers, bend ears with his annoying voice, and who disguised as Walter Interranti, mild-mannered janitor for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth, nonsense, and the American way. And now, another exciting episode in the adventures of iWalter.
Good evening, everyone. This is Walter and iWalter. I'm going to do my show right now on Thursday. It's almost 11 o'clock. It's the 22nd, so I got about an hour until Friday starts, so I'm going to try to get it done ahead of time. I did spend last night about 6.5 hours, 7 hours at the Back to the Future films. Did see all three of them. Didn't expect it, but they actually did give you a break in between. By the way, I think this may work out. I hope it is. I got this mic holder for my new microphone, and it attaches to the desk. It clamps to your desk, and it's got like a spring mount holder, and it was only like $15. The brand actually looked like newer, but it's it's N-E, or I should say N-double-E, W-E-R. But it was cheap, and it got a decent review. If you have Prime, it only takes 2 days to receive it, which it actually had taken me. I personally I tried it out yesterday, and I thought it worked pretty well. Just a test. I didn't do any show, obviously, yesterday, because I just was wanted to relax. I got home around 11:30. I would have done a show, but I just really didn't feel quite like up to par to doing so. I actually enjoy all three films, Back to the Future. I didn't like the third one that much because that was the first one I actually physically had seen in the movie theater. So this time around, actually, I saw all three. And when you watch them in order, they actually do make a lot more sense. Just a heads up, there is now, for people who love the Back to the Future movies, I didn't know this. I just actually found this out tonight when I was out of curiosity and spending way too much money on stuff. Since I've been off of work, you get bored easily or you're spending more money. There is actually a DeLorean Motor Company website where you can order DeLoreans because there were so many parts left over from when the company went bankrupt that somebody actually bought all the parts up. And I had a video on my Facebook page, and the guy basically, they told this guy who bought all the parts, they said, you have enough parts, you could build pretty much, basically brand new DeLoreans with the parts, and if they didn't have them, they can actually replicate the parts or find used parts. So, yeah, you can actually technically buy, even though at this point you're talking like 30-some years, the parts, they're stainless steel, so they're pretty much in brand new shape. You can get a brand new DeLorean, the 1981 model, like freshly built. Anyway, the website is DeLorean.com. Very easy to remember. You can actually buy pre-owned ones because most people, when they buy them, they don't want to ruin them. There's one around my area that they're actually selling, but it was painted, and that kind of ruins the look, the style of the car. But these are the original body style. They are still making those DeLoreans for anybody who is interested. If you check out the web link I just mentioned, which is DeLorean.com. You can actually buy parts. There was enough parts left behind. This is like a brand new web page, by the way. It kind of looks like it may have been ever so slightly altered, I guess, with some like little bit, very minimal change to the original design. I'm talking like very small. But yeah, it's a whole web link. You can get even other stuff, for your DeLorean or whatever. They actually have, it's different. It's only like a limited locations on the East Coast. Actually, Florida is the closest to me, which isn't that far because that's down I'm in Pennsylvania. You're talking Florida, so that's a big change, drive. But there's an actual DeLorean car dealership. There's only so many of them, I think. Get service, picks, see locations: California, Midwest, Florida, Northeast, and Texas. And you can actually, they for rent, if you want to, you can rent a DeLorean that was set up as a, Back to the Future time machine. Now, somebody actually had one on sale. I think it was $100,000. They're selling their Back to the Future souped out DeLorean. I know there's a place they actually do that work too, but this place, there was a place on eBay, the guy's actually selling his. It says get in touch. For the one in Texas, it actually has a phone number, an 800-872-3621. Toll free, or 1-281-441-2537. And they have a fax number. But yeah, you can actually physically order a DeLorean. It's kind of weird because you're almost talking 40 years ago. And again, they were kind of like his parts have probably been sitting for a long time. The interesting thing, the engine is actually in the back of the car. Wondering, though, because I don't know when unleaded fuel came about, but I remember back in the 70s, this was obviously 81, that you had there was only leaded gas. Unleaded was kind of on, what do you call it? But yeah, if you're really interested, if I had the money, I'd probably get one. I just have nowhere to put it, and I really don't have the money, unfortunately. Services, restoration, online parts, budget restoration, or just buy a new one because it says buy pre-owned, sold, coming soon. The pre-owned ones obviously are by people who are basically private dealers. They have everyone from, I didn't know they came that way. I'm glad to see it though. They come either automatic or manual. So you got both. And the ones that are up for sale, obviously, these people really babied the car because it was kind of a nostalgic thing to begin with. Back to the Future just kind of set it over the top. They actually have the VIN numbers up too. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 up for sale on the webpage. But there is actually, again, because I know I looked at the one in Florida. It's an authentic, believe it or not, a strictly DeLorean car dealership. I was looking at it earlier today. So, yeah, it's pretty neat. I mean, it's pretty cool. Me and a friend actually found it. Yeah, and it says dated 2015, all rights reserved. So this is the real deal. A friend actually found one at a body shop around here. And it was a little bit, worn out, I guess, so to speak. More so inside a DeLorean that was sitting around. And it was kind of fun because we had taken some pictures of ourselves next to the car and stuff. It was just, I think they probably sold it too because it's no longer there. It was there after a while. It was the first time I've actually physically saw a DeLorean. You don't see those very often. There is quite a few out there, and they do sell. The guy who actually built some from the parts he bought, I think it's in probably in England though. That guy, or actually is in the U.S. I can't remember. He actually mentioned that most of the people who buy them are like from over the years. He said are kids who saw the movie Back to the Future and said, "Yeah, I want to buy a DeLorean." And when years later, when they got older, when they became grown-ups, they actually did do so, he said. They actually come back, and they really do buy the car. So it's kind of funny, and he did admit if it wasn't for the Back to the Future movie, that car wouldn't probably be that impressive as it became because of the film. Because there was another car that was similar to the DeLorean, not with the stainless steel. And, you don't hear about, I can't remember the name of the car, honestly, either. So, but it is on Facebook as well if you're interested. It's facebook.com. It's the actual official DeLorean webpage for the car dealerships, / DeLorean Motor Company, basically, is the rest of it. So it's really cool. But again, it's basically obviously because of the film that made the car so popular. If I had more money than I knew to spend, that's pretty funny. Somebody actually, it says in New York City, made a taxi out of the DeLorean they have. It says Back to the Future. And it says on the side, it says New York Taxi. So they made it literally into a taxi. It's really cool, but they painted it yellow. Kind of ruins the whole thing. I got a picture with the DeLorean that one time, the Back to the Future ones. But, it's pretty funny. This girl's dressed up like McFly, and she's got her pockets out of her pants because that was a big thing. In that Back to the Future 2 movie, that one scene. And that's the funny thing. Certain things that, besides the DeLorean, it had really made it big. Oh, here's an automatic one. That looks actually nice. They shot pictures of what an automatic looks like. What was I going to say? There was the Back to the Future 2 with the jacket, self-drying jacket and self-adjusting jacket. The Nike shoes that were from the year 2015. They're actually coming out next year, they said now. That is going to come out, but not until next year. They were supposed to come out officially yesterday. But there is a video I have where Michael J. Fox, for that charity he does try to cure Parkinson, which he has. They actually... I don't know if it was Nike, I assume, but they actually had him try on a pair of the Power Laces. They are pretty interesting. But yeah, they were supposedly, I'm looking at some DeLoreans now that were cleaned up, kept in good shape. And they look like brand new because obviously, if you buy one, you're going to want to take good care of it too. But yeah, he was wearing the shoes. He was even actually very impressed by these self-lacing shoes. The only thing is I'm concerned about, if they're going to do it as basically that you have to buy them on donations, I really don't want to pay $10,000 for a pair of sneakers. I honestly think that's just kind of ridiculous. I would hope they would mass produce them, and if you even sell them for, personally, the shoes for $100 a pop, and this, give the proceeds towards Michael J. Fox, you're going to make out just as well as if you sell like a half a dozen pair of shoes for, I'm trying to think of the price. If you sell half a dozen pair of shoes for $10,000 a piece, you're going to sell more. You're going to sell a lot more and get more people, because a lot of people want to buy those, but they don't want to spend that kind of money. I mean, if you're paying $10,000 for a pair of sneakers, for $25,000 you can buy actually a DeLorean. I'm not even kidding. So it's just kind of ridiculous. But anyway, yeah, I just really wanted to push that first about the DeLorean thing, because it was, it's a belated comment on my part, or discussion on my part, because actually it was yesterday was Back to the Future Day, officially. Here was something interesting. I was going to check again. I'm always leery with my levels. A lot better, though, that I got this mic stand. This is no joke. I didn't know this. A friend sent it to me, so I have to thank him, Todd Thomas. But it says the Pepsi Back to the Future bottles. They actually, the throwback bottles falls flat, they said, but I thought, okay, that means they didn't sell it. No, they sold out in record time. And I was waiting for it. I didn't know they released them yesterday, but they sold out, I guess, as soon as they went up on Amazon. When Walmart was, I think Walmart accidentally put the bottles out ahead of time because I saw one, the display. It was a while back. It was like, wow, these bottles look pretty ugly. Pepsi changed their design again, it looks like. I didn't realize they mistakenly put out the display way ahead of time. Well, it says that the bottles were marked at $20 a bottle, and it's just a standard, regular, amount of. You're getting the regular amount. You're not getting any extra soda for that amount. You're literally paying $20 for a bottle that would cost you no more than tops like $2. And it was all just a whole thing for the Back to the Future Day. So, let's see what it says. Back to the Future fans were screaming Great Scott Wednesday after learning that the limited edition Pepsi Perfect, the soda Martin McFly drank on October 21st, 2015, sold out in record time again. So if I would have known that, I probably would have gotten the bottle, because now people who did buy them either are going to keep them, or they may very well just, they may just end up reselling them. I saw one person basically shellacked the bottle and got one ahead of time and sold it for over $100. I'm not even kidding, on eBay. Somewhere it said, quote unquote, not happy with the release, wrote Amazon reviewer Jacqueline S. What's the point in all the hype just to disappoint customers and fans? I agree with that. Another quote, stay up hoping I would snag one at midnight, even after following them on Twitter and trying every link. It seems they sold out before they even could actually buy them. So, yeah, a lot of people did try. It said since the release, Pepsi Perfect has assumed over 700 customer reviews, with most receiving 1-star ratings and angry messages. So, yeah, I mean, if you know this is going to sell, I understand this whole limited edition thing, but that was just a little ridiculous. And like I said, I did see him. I know I did see him now at Walmart, and they released it accidentally ahead of time. And I don't think they realized. If I knew it, I personally would have probably, excuse me for a minute. Sorry about that, folks. I would have probably actually not only snagged one, I didn't know any better, and I should have, because I've seen those movies a million times. But yeah, I knew the one around our house definitely did have them. I'm just surprised they actually sold out so quickly. Yeah, so it actually is impressive. I know I did see one. I thought I was imagining things. I was like, wow, this is the ugliest looking bottle I've ever seen from Pepsi, and it was like not even knowing that I could have grabbed one and not realizing how that would have made a bundle. Let me see. I got some kind of goofy stories, not really good stories, just plain goofy. Yeah, actually, I didn't really like Michael J. Fox. I must have stumbled upon this with the sneaker. Yeah, Michael J. Fox models his first self-lacing Nike mags. But it was actually linked to the Michael J. Fox Foundation Parkinson Research Organization, and it's on Facebook as well. So you can actually make donations. Not endorsed by by Facebook, though. Yeah, I mean, that's very nice. I'd love to, but I really, right now, I can't afford to. It's nothing against Michael J. Fox. Just trying to see, because before I get to these really off-the-wall stories, I want to make sure I get the other ones out of the way there. Oh, this was really good. I actually got a new impression for the guy. They show him, the main black guy who plays... you see him in the previews for the new Star Wars Awakens. Star Wars The Force Awakens. I can't say his last name, but his first name's John, and he is British because he has a really strong accent. I'm going to take a shot at it. Boygetta or something. Anyway, he's really funny. They have this skit with him where somebody asks for his autograph while he's going a photo shoot. He's the guy, again, you're going to see him in all the trailers for Star Wars, the black guy who was the stormtrooper who comes from like the dark side of being a stormtrooper to actually helping the Jedis or the the good guys. And in this video, he is so funny. He gave me like a new impression that I didn't expect to get. It was from some link on Facebook called Nylon, Nylon. He is extremely hilarious. He basically, some woman asked for, can I have your autograph too? And he says, oh, sure, let me go grab one. And he's got like suitcases and suitcases that he thought he had a pen in there of Star Wars action figures and stuff. And he said, oh yeah, these were for my my nephew and and stuff like that. And they said, you don't have any nephew. He first says, oh, it's for my kids. And it's like, I thought you said you don't have any kids. And he said, oh yeah, that's right, I don't have any kids. It's actually for my nephew. So basically, he's too embarrassed in this skit. It's like a minute and a half. It is very funny, though. He actually gave me a really good, a good feel for the actor. He really impressed me. Anybody who can be like personal with people, and not act stuck up. We'll actually have to go to that in a minute too. Definitely, the guy just really impressed me. More so than I expected. And because this guy, I don't know him from anything else he's done, but this video he does is funny. And, just the way he presented himself made me feel a lot more confident on the new movie. I would check it out. It's on my Facebook, on the front page of it. So that's like one of my lighter stories. Actually, the reason I say what I mentioned was because I actually have to almost take back. Oh, and before I forget, since today, believe it or not, today is Christopher Lloyd's birthday for the next 45 minutes. Happy birthday, Christopher Lloyd. He turned 77 today, or he had turned 77. So you're going to see that linked like in a lot of different places. I just had taken the one off of comicbook.com. Yeah, seeing a picture of that guy I was mentioning also from Star Wars Force Awakens. He just looks like cumbersome or, I don't know, cumbersome or whatever in the trailer. But when you actually hear the guy talk and be funny, it actually just kind of impressed me quite a bit. But happy birthday again to Christopher Lloyd. Another light story real quick. I'm going to throw this in since it's already up. It was on change.org. I think I might have pissed off a friend. I didn't realize what it was about. Bad news Bowie, Baba Booey from Howard Stern, the worst first pitch in NBL history. So he actually pitched a game for the Mets. Get Gary Del Abate to throw out the first pitch for the Mets home game in the World Series. So, yeah, because they actually made it to the World Series. Sorry, folks. I guess the Cubs did not make it as Back to the Future had mentioned they would. Yeah, so it was pretty funny. I sent to a friend who was a Mets fan. Yeah, one thing I was going to mention, I'm in the middle of watching it now, so that's why I want to kind of cut my show short tonight. I always say I do. I never do, but I think tonight I really will. I actually got really intrigued and got caught up of watching Penny Dreadful Season 2. They're actually talking about Season 3 now. It just was released, I think about a week or two ago, maybe not that long. But I ordered it on iTunes, which really pissed me off because it was actually cheaper at Best Buy. You could buy the Blu-ray box set for like $30, and I think I paid a little over $30 for just the streaming. So, yeah, this was one time I kind of got ripped off. But I am watching it, and I'm really hooked already on the second season of Penny Dreadful. So why I'm bringing that up is because I mentioned a while back this year that when I went to see Billy Piper and David Tennant, that I was very disappointed in Billy Piper. I thought she was a little bit of a smartass and everything like that, but I kind of almost figured out why now. And I think the reason was because I asked her, I said, when I saw her, I said, so when is the second season of, your show going to be on of Penny Dreadful? She had a character, and she looked at me like I had 5 heads and like, why are you talking to me? And then I didn't realize, because I finally started watching the other night, and I'm really hooked already, that she was totally nude in the second season. Like, she's nude from front to back, head to toe, and head to toe from front to back. You see both full nudity from behind and full nudity from the front of her. And maybe that's why, because I know she's a little bit of a prude certain times of doing nude shots, but yet she's known for doing those. Most of the time sometimes she actually got body doubles. But this is one time, it was definitely, a friend sent me an article, which I was supposed to dig that up, and I forgot to, that actually mentions that yeah, she was completely nude. I'm going to see if I can dig it up now. I think he just emailed it to me, but just in case, because he actually sent it to me more than once, a friend. It might have been even a text, so I'll have to figure this out somehow. I'm looking right now to see how it might have been sent. But yeah, she was definitely nude, and there was an article that just basically proved that fact. It even could have been an email. There's many different ways I could have gotten this source of information, but it kind of made me feel a little bit better. But yeah, trying to see if I can't find it. Oh, okay, here we go. He sent me a link. I have to hook it up on my Facebook page, I guess. Read this article he sent me from Express UK. My friend Todd, thank you so much for finding this for me too, by the way. Billy Piper's Penny Dreadful character rises from the dead, completely nude. She stripped off in the Secret Diary of a Call Girl, and Billy Piper's character did a nude scene in her latest show aired in America. So, yeah, that was definitely her. Series 2 of the 32-year-old beauty's latest show, Penny Dreadful, aired in the U.S. last night, and Billy's character made a return from the dead. So, see, this was a while back. I actually just saw it last night myself, so that's why I said that. But it was actually April 20th that it was aired. And it says it was on Stars, or is it Stars? I think so. Stars character Brona Croft was pictured completely naked, showing her breast and nether region. So they actually show her vaginal hair down below. So not even joking. But it is unknown if it was the actress or not. Having been raised from a river in a full frontal display, the Stars character is shown in her glory of a wooden table, which I did watch last night myself. I really believe it was her, though. I don't think it was a body double. Some people if they did a really good job, but it definitely looked like it was Billy Piper. So, it's just funny to see that and then have her act the way she did towards me. But like I said, maybe that's why, because I really truly did not know what the deal was. And yeah, what was I going to say? When I saw her on what do you call it, just last night, I was like, wait, maybe this is why she was so funny, because she's probably thinking I'm like some type of creep. Even if it's not her, she probably thinks I'm some type of creep who was just gone and kind of did see her completely nude. And it's like, well, I hate to tell you, no, I've honestly, back then I did not see the show. And then I actually did finally get to see it, and it was, months after the fact. So, but the bottom line was, watching the show, she is a really good actress. So this is one of those cases I was going to say that even though I did not appreciate the way she acted when I met her, her acting, I mean, normally when I see somebody who was that rude or obnoxious, I normally just like kind of write them off on anything they do. But unfortunately, her acting is good enough that I'm just going to have to overlook that I have ever actually saw her in person. Anyway, I did mention this before. There's a couple different web links. And like I said, they said the Power Laces are going to be coming out sometime next year. They were supposed to come out this year. Yeah. Fox also, an incredibly creative and heartfelt letter by Nike Invitation Chief Tinker Hatfield, who revealed Nike plans to release more pairs for support in aid of Michael J. Fox Foundation in 2016. So the next time, the ones they release, which I'm hoping they would release them a little bit more than at that really ridiculous price, will be actually self-laced shoes. Now, the interesting thing, the first time they released those shoes, people didn't do they did a pretty damn good job. They made much cheaper ones at a fraction of the cost, and replicas, and that's the ones I got. I bought a couple different pairs because the replicas actually do wear out pretty quickly. Like, they're made really well, but they still wear out pretty fast if you wear them on a daily basis, which I did. I don't any longer, but I did. They are very comfortable. I think I'm weaning down to, unfortunately, maybe I got a couple more entertaining stories. It said, rest in peace, Marty Ingalls. Dickens stars husband to Shirley Jones and voice of Pac-Man. The actor starred alongside of John Astin on the 1960s sitcom, provided the voice of the memorable cartoon character, and became a stepfather to Sean Cassidy. He passed away. It was on MeTV. By the way, I didn't turn off all my cleaners and stuff, so you might hear that in the background, air cleaners and stuff. I normally do, but now that I have the mic so close to my mouth, I figured I wouldn't have to worry about that, I'm hoping. So, again, I'm sorry to hear that, that he passed away. It's hard to believe that Halloween's right around the corner. I actually did buy a Halloween costume. I don't know if I'm going to wear it or not, but I got one for Star Wars. It's kind of strange because I'm more of a Doctor Who fan. And by the way, they did make some interesting, I don't know if that was in the movie theater, but comparing Doctor Who to, I think that was something I found, to Back to the Future with the Doc on Back to the Future. And they said he could be possibly a Time Lord in many different ways. And there is some paradoxes, like they even said the new companion had the same name, Clara, who was Doc's love interest in the third Back to the Future movie of, So there is some paradoxes between the two that kind of make you think they were both time travelers too, obviously. And both, I had a laugh when I think I did read that somewhere about the paradoxes between Doctor Who and Back to the Future with the Doctor and that. But somebody asked Doc in Back to the Future, they say, so, what are you a doctor of? And he says basically the same thing that Doctor Who has said before. He says he's basically a doctor of everything, of all the sciences and everything. The same exact line that Doctor Who gives. So they were kind of like going back and forth in this one article, and you kind of laugh when you see that. By the way, when you watch Back to the Future, I'm sure there was other ones, but I did catch a continuity problem, which was so minor. It was an accident. I actually caught it, but it was in the second movie. I think it was the first movie. I can't remember now, actually. Maybe it was it was the second movie where George McFly talks to his dad when he's a teenager, trying to convince his dad that he should date his mother or ask her out for the Enchantment Under the Sea dance. Well, they were hanging up clothes in this one scene, and George McFly, his shirt pockets, he had shirt pockets on this 1950s shirt. It was George McFly. It wasn't the other one. It wasn't the father. So he's talking to his dad. That was at that point, his dad did not have him yet, and George had one of his pockets tucked into his shirt. And in that same scene, when it cut to a different angle, the shirt pocket was pulled out. So they fixed his shirt pocket, but the continuity then was automatically off, though. So it was just like something I caught that, that's called a continuity problem. Let me see if I can find the name of the characters. Back to the Future. Because I'm really bad. Oh, wow, I really messed up, too. I messed up again. Something's going on tonight. I'm like trying to put in Back to the Future, and I get all these funky things. I might need a new keyboard. Yep, it is definitely messed up. It's not hitting the right keys. Yeah, my keyboard's screwed up again. I thought it was just me. Oh, that sucks. I go through keyboards pretty quickly, too. Who am I looking for? Kristen, they were George McFly. I apologize. I meant Marty McFly. Again, I got to fix this keyboard. It's starting to... For some reason, I ruin my keyboards every once in a while. The things stick, too. And another thing was they did a really good job, but yeah, Back to the Future was Claudia Wells. Claudia Wells played, I think, the original. God, they got some really bad pictures. I just saw her, and she doesn't not look that bad. She looked like she got a lot of plastic surgery and some other things, but she was in the first one. And Billy Zane was actually in the second one. I caught him right away. And Flea was actually in the second and third one. But I don't think Claudia Wells was in all three of them. Because in Back to the Future 2, they got some other woman to play her character. Claudia Wells actually played, she played Jennifer Parker. Now, if I... the keys are not working, so I'm going to need a new keyboard, I guess. And these are so expensive. Huh. It actually has Elijah Woods. I didn't know he was. It says boy number 1. Did not know that Elijah Woods was actually in the second one. Yeah, I'm going to see who played. Jennifer Parker was played by Elizabeth Shue in the second movie. They did a pretty good matchup. But yeah, Claudia Wells was the original Jennifer Parker, and then they had to reshoot the last sequence again because they got Jennifer. Did I say Jennifer Parker was the original one? Elizabeth Shue for the second when she actually had to wear. It looked like a really bad wig because they had to match up her hair. But they did a good because they were both really young. But Elizabeth Shue actually played in Back to the Future 2 and 3, if I remember correctly. Her parts were kind of small. I mean, Jennifer Parker, the character, wasn't in much. More so, actually, in Back to the Future 2, which they were shot back to back, so it would make sense she would be in 2 and also 3. Yeah, for anybody who was interested in that kind of stuff. But yeah, it was pretty cool. I don't know if I got started on this, so I apologize. Can't believe my keyboard, too. This is another keyboard I actually just got ruined. These Apple keyboards do not hold up that well. Yeah, before I get into my darker stories, by the way. Oh, that was kind of interesting, actually. I might just read this next. Bold statement, Halloween 3 is the best in the series. Somebody actually wrote this on... I think a lot of people would disagree on bloodydisgusting.com. It was the most morbid one, though, I'll tell you that much. And the reason they were stating this is because going through the bullet points, it said the plot, the direction, the acting, and the special effects, which I did buy that movie. It's hard to find. Legacy Lost. So they did want to go a different direction with the movie. And it apparently didn't do that well. But it depends, because I have one friend, he actually did like Halloween 3 just as much as the other ones. Because, it wasn't, that Michael Myers thing was just a fluke that actually just had taken off. They didn't expect it, I guess. They wanted to actually, John Carpenter and Deborah Hill were intending to just do a whole series of different, like every Halloween, something different, and continue in that direction. But obviously, that didn't work out the way they wanted it to. And honestly, most movies that were done with both John Carpenter and Deborah Hill were really good, because they also did The Fog, and so they did some other films. Anyway, it basically says it doesn't have Michael Myers. It doesn't have Sam Loomis. It wasn't directed by John Carpenter, and Halloween 3 Season of the Witch is the best in the series, they say. Actually, I thought that I did see some interview that was both John Carpenter and Deborah Hill that did come up with the idea for Halloween 3. Now, this says no, but I heard it coming out of his mouth one time, I swear. Now hold on before you knock down my door with pitchforks and torches. Hear me out, this person writes. The Halloween franchise started with Carpenter and Deborah Hill, and the tale of the shape. The tale of the shape. I never heard of that. When it came time to film Halloween 3, Carpenter and Hill weren't interested unless it didn't involve Michael Myers. So they didn't want to do another Michael Myers. For many horror fans, that was like signing the movie Death Warrant before it even had got released. But I fell in love with this strange little movie the first time I saw it, and now I'm going to sway you too. So that's where these points come in if you like to read the rest. So yeah, they really didn't want to be involved unless it was something different, I guess is what this guy is stating in his article. And it seemed like, there's the people who really did actually like that they did go a different direction with the film. Because, they were actually, I know I heard this in an interview, they were actually intending, again, both Deborah Hill and John Carpenter, they just wanted to have a thing like every Halloween, there would be a different story, a different horror story. But obviously it didn't work after the first attempt in Halloween 3. It is pretty disturbing movie, I will say that much. Once I figure out, that's another thing I'll have to fork money into is another keyboard, unfortunately, now, and they're not cheap. Hey, by the way, this is funny. I can only mention what I'm looking at, but this was it's a shared link. I don't even know where I got it from. I apologize, but it was a thing on a Facebook. It was a GIF, one of those GIFs, GIF and it's with the alien from Aliens and the term what do you call it? The Predator from Predator, and it's a little spoof parody GIF, and it's the alien taking a shower, a hot shower in the shower, and the Predator standing outside where the alien's taking the shower, and he's standing over a toilet, and he flushes it, because that makes the water cold, and the alien freaks out. So it's the funniest GIF I've ever saw. Whoever came up with it, I got to tip my hat to that because it is really funny looking. So again, I'm not doing it justice. You actually have to kind of look at it. Anyway, yeah, what else was I going to say? I do got a couple stories. So I'm going to let you know now if you might want to even just, well, wait, before I even say that, I want to check this out real quick. I didn't put it on my mix. Another bloody disgusting horror.com. Which horror movies do you love that everyone else hates? And they're showing a picture from Jason X, which originally I did not like it at all. But then I actually did like it a lot, as I watched it more than once. Yeah, so that was one they put in the mix. They don't mention it. They're actually mentioning Jennifer's Body, Sorority Row, I Know What You Did Last Summer, and House of Wax. But they're showing the picture of Jason X. I know that one. Trust me, I know my Friday the 13th. It has Anaconda, Darkness Falls. Oh, Tusk. Tusk was actually a surprise. That was a very disturbing movie. Oh, wow. They have an article I didn't see. It says on BloodyDisgusting.com, Friday the 13th shifts to 2017 in hunt for new writers. So, wow, that's news to me. Guess where that's going? Yeah, you guessed it right, my Facebook page. See, I thought it was supposed to come out next year. Now they're pushing it back even yet again. Well, maybe I did originally thought it was 20. I don't know. We're hearing that a lot of rumors regarding Paramount Pictures' next installment of Friday the 13th, which will now be released in 2017. The good news is that we'll still be on schedule as opposed to being dropped off completely, but it does mean potential changes in the development core. So, yeah, they weren't happy with something, so now they pushed it back. Not only again, but they're actually, what do you call it? They're going to probably get even new writers. That's kind of weird. Let me just put that story I mentioned on my Facebook so people can kind of look it up. This was just posted. This is BloodyDisgusting.com. New Halloween delayed, won't be what people are expecting. So here we go, another delay. If the next Friday the 13th shift into 2017 wasn't bad enough, now this one I just got posted. Yeah, it just got posted right before the end of the night. Longtime Halloween producer Malik Akkad has opened up about delays with upcoming Halloween sequel. Halloween Returns, proclaiming that it's all for the good of the film. Anyway, I will put it on my Facebook again. That just went up. So I didn't even get a chance even just to glance at it. So both are. I kind of agree, I guess, with Deborah Hill and John Carpenter. Maybe it was best what they were going to do. This one a friend just actually put up and responded to, so I'm going to have to read it right now. Woman arrested for masturbating with Jimmy Dean sausages in Walmart bathroom. This was on, this was just posted too, believe it or not. I'm sorry, I'm laughing. News in Louisiana, police are calling this a crime of unthinkable, something that most people would never even imagine doing. On Monday, police were called into Louisiana Walmart under a suspicion that a customer was shoplifting food. According to the complaint, a Walmart worker radioed security about suspicious woman in the meat aisle. Security cameras filmed a 33-year-old's Shaquana Johnson shoving sausages under her shirt. She actually looks like a guy. She's really huge too. Like she looks like that thing from that one movie, China. I can't remember, where the guy explodes, basically. Anyway, CCTV footage then shows the woman walking into the bathroom where she remained for at least 30 minutes. A male security guard says he knocked on the bathroom door several times, but the woman did not respond. He then announced he was entering, and when he found her behind the door of the unlocked stall is something he said will haunt his dreams forever. The security guard reports when he entered the stall, Johnson was inappropriately pleasuring herself with the Jimmy Dean packages of sausages. He said that when he entered, she didn't even stop. She just started at me and kept going. Shocked and also frightened for his safety due to the fact that Johnson is a big girl. The 140-pound security guard said he ran out until the police arrived. When they did, the female officer entered the restroom with Johnson still putting in work with the sausage. All in all, it took 7 police officers to restrain Johnson and pry the victimized sausage out of the woman's hands. No puns on the Johnson, but that's her last name. She was arrested and taken into custody, where she was charged with shoplifting, indecent exposure, and restraining arrest. Walmart management said in no way do they tolerate this type of behavior. They have a strict policy against shoplifters and a sign on the bathroom door that clearly reads, "No merchandise allowed beyond this point." So, yes, that is pretty fucking funny. I'm sorry. I did slip now. Alrighty, another joke with a Back to the Future thing. It was titled, "Will the Cubs Win in 2045?" Back to the Future writer Bob Gall makes his predictions on the next 30 years in the USA Today column, because the Cubs were supposed to win in 2050, and they did not win the World Series. The Mets did. That's pretty funny, though. She looks good, but she looks like she got way too much plastic surgery. I'm sorry. I'm looking at some picture of then and now with Michael J. Fox and what do you call it? The one who played Jennifer, the original one in Back to the Future. Because I saw her in person. She's a really sweet lady, but she's younger than me, actually. But she definitely looked like she got way too much plastic surgery done on her body. Oh, a pill. I'm just going to read this. I don't know if I'm going to link it either way, and I'll just take it off. It's not what I thought it was. Opposing views. You agree with the proposal for Donald Trump. Anyone who leaves the U.S. to join ISIS should be banned from returning. Yeah, I actually do agree with that one. So, I have no problem if that's what he is planning on doing. Yes. Ooh. Sorry, it was on iHeart. Awesome DIY Halloween decorations, and they were quite disturbing looking, actually, believe it or not. Friend just put on his Facebook page, World Series swept LGM, basically the Cubs. So I'm sorry for these delays and stalls and stuff. You know what? Sometimes I'm ready to like end something. I actually do have other stories, and then I miss something. So I figured I'm just going to take a glance before I even go through my more gruesome stories, so to speak. Hey, this is interesting. See, this is what I mean, because I always find something more interesting than what I'm about to read. Anyway, it was on bloodydisgusting.com. I haven't been given all the dates. They're actually most of them are today for the next 15 minutes. Ridley Scott's alien shooting in Australia. Jim Carrey's true crimes in Poland. 20th Century Fox tentative titled Alien Paradise Lost Ridley Scott's Prometheus sequel will shoot in Australia next year, Variety confirms. It does say Jim Carrey, by the way, too, and it is him. Principal photography and scheduled is to wrap on December 20th with the production, then move into Berlin for post-production at Post Republic. Scott hot off The Martian. Yeah, I want to see that Martian movie. I keep on missing it. I keep on forgetting. We'll direct Alien movie, which is the sixth in the sequence. He, too, sent a video message and praised Australian crews and locations, explains the site. Mission Impossible Rogue Nation's Rebecca Ferguson is allegedly in talks to join Scott's Alien Paradise Lost, which is targeting release on May 30th, 2017. Keep up with two of the zany alien-related news in our hub. And this is on bloodydisgusting.com. I'm actually... Oh, that starts tomorrow on Friday. I actually would like to see that Paranormal Activity Ghost Dimensions. I didn't like the first one, but I do like all the other paranormals. I really do like them a lot. I love them. I might as well just go through the darker stories now, because I think that's all I have left. It is kind of funny, so thank you, Todd, for this story. New York Post. Saudi prince accused of hooker parties, threats, and fart-in-face demand. This is no joke. This was like yesterday. I can still say that. A Saudi Arabian prince is accused by three females staffers of acting like a bizarre party boy, engaging in gay sex in front of them, threatening a woman's life, demanding that an assistant fart in his face while others watch, and declaring, "I am a prince and I do what I want," according to the report. So if you can see that, again, it's on my Facebook page. It's a little ridiculous. Man's like filthy rich, a Saudi filthy rich guy, and he just feels like, well, whatever I say goes, and gets away with it pretty much. He's only 29. He's worth looks like $37 million. Oh no, that's his mansion. Prince, basically son of late King Ali, allegedly engaged in lewd behavior. So that's not even his wealth. That's what his mansion's. He has a mansion worth $37 million. I just love these people. Doesn't matter what nationality you are, obviously. You can still act like an ass. And yeah, that's on NewYorkTimesPost.com. It's actually marked the 21st. And I do have it, I think, on my Facebook. Here's another one. A juvenile. It looks like juvenile. More or less, accused of biting off the top of 2-month-old baby's ear. This was in Texas, but it looks like juvenile. But maybe it's juvenile. I don't know. is behind bars after a 17-year-old allegedly, I guess because of his age, 17-year-old allegedly bit off a large portion of a 2-month-old baby's ear. According to the affiliate, that's on the Dreamin' Demon, by the way. According to the affiliate in the case, the baby's mother had asked Morris to feed the baby, then went to check on them when she noticed the baby would not stop crying. That's when she saw Morris grinding his teeth around the infant's ear while the baby was screaming bloody murder. The mother was able to get the baby away from Morris and noticed he'd bitten off the top portion of the baby's ear. That's a shame. After taking the baby to the neighbor's home to call for help, the infant was taken to the hospital. After speaking to the woman at the hospital, police arrested on a felony charge of injury to a child causing serious bodily injury. Yeah, that didn't make much sense the way I read it, I guess. Anyway, he's on bond, this 17-year-old, for $60,000, and is looking at anywhere between 5 to 99 years behind bars if convicted. Texas Child Protective Services have been notified. No word on the missing portion of the baby's ear could be reattached. I guess maybe he swallowed it. I don't know. I hope not. Why would you do that? Yeah, these are probably all from the same source. It's Dreamin' Demon again. I have an article. Ira Task accused of raping boy 6 while another man recorded it. This was in Harrisburg, PA, by the way. Going to give you a fair warning. Reading the details of this article may not be the way some of you want to start your day. That's what it actually starts out saying. Police have arrested a 61-year-old Ira Task after they say he and another man recorded themselves raping a 6-year-old boy. Task arrested was the result of an investigation that started when the federal investigators alerted Pennsylvania police that the 19-year-old Williams buyer Augusta, who lives in North Middleton Township, had live streamed the rape of a 6-year-old boy over the video conferencing website back in July. When the police searched Augusta's home, they found a laptop in the teen's bedroom that contained numerous videos and photographs of child pornography. The investigation then led them to a second North Middleton Township where numerous computers and phones were seized, with one of the phones containing a partially disturbing video. In the video, which has been was taken in April, 2 adult males could be seen raping a 6-year-old boy that Augusta had raped during a live stream. Police say that the rape was filmed by Augusta and was shot in a way as to crop out the faces of the 2 men. But the police did not need the face on one of the 2 men to identify him. The man in the video, who was also seen administering an inhalant to the young victim, was identified as Task via their identification markers such as a gold ring on his finger and more than 20 moles on his right thigh and a ring around the base of his penis. Further checking into the confiscated computers revealed numerous text messages between Task and Augusta as they talked about child pornography and other sexual encounters. I always kind of question people like this. On Tuesday, police arrested Task, who admitted raping the boy and told police he has been HIV positive since '94. That makes it even worse. Task is currently jailed and facing charges of rape of a child, conspiracy, involuntary deviant sexual intercourse, aggravated assault, recklessness, endangerment of another person, filming sex acts with a child, mention in photos of sex acts with a child, criminal solicitation, child pornography, criminal use of a communication facility, and corruption of a minor. Well, this man, the other guy, the one tasked was actually 61, if I didn't say it correctly the first time. So, yeah, it's pretty scary. On a lighter, darker note, Bloody Disgusting, maybe this will kind of lighten what I just read. Official Pride and Prejudice zombie trailer delivers more kick to zombie heads. It's actually coming out, I think, next year. For some reason, I thought, February 5th. So it's coming out around my birthday time, because my birthday is February 7th. While the UK trailer in Pride and Prejudice Zombies has more bloodshed, the newly released US version ties the Black Plague into the rising of the undead, while also letting audiences know this movie focuses on Bennett sisters. Now, the weird thing is, I didn't notice, but Matt Smith's going to play in this film also. He played the very last Doctor Who. He's also in the film as well. So, yeah, if you check it out on a lighter note, so to speak, it is quite dark, a bit morbid, definitely action-packed. But it's Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, official trailer on bloodydisgusting.com. Let me just check my levels. Okay, I'm still going good. Okay. So it looks pretty cool, actually. Alrighty, I do got another disgusting story now. It's on Dreamin' Demon. Victim bites off teen's tongue during alleged sexual assault. Now, this was pretty interesting because this was in North Charleston, South Carolina. Police say the teen tried to rape a woman in South Carolina, but was foiled when the victim kicked him in the balls. Last Friday morning around 6:30 a.m., a woman was awakened by a knock on her door. She got up to answer the door but found no one out there and went back to bed. This happened 2 more times until the woman finally stepped outside to see who was knocking on her door and ringing the doorbell. According to the police report, the woman saw the man on the side of her house holding a knife. She screamed and ran back into her home in an attempt to escape from the man, but he followed her in the home and he forced his way into the house, basically, before she was able to shut the door. The suspect then tackled the woman, punched her several times in the face, and informed her to stop fighting and he won't hurt her. Well, he just punched her in the face several times. Anyway, the suspect carried the victim into her bedroom, where he tried to remove the victim's shorts, but she wasn't letting him have his way that easily. It's basically stating. As he was removing her clothing, the woman kicked the suspect in the groin. "Now you have to die," was what the man had responded by that. Told her before making the mistake of forcing his tongue down her throat. The victim told the police that once the man put his tongue in her mouth, she bit the tongue as hard as she could until she heard it snap. The man got off the bed at that point, and then the woman made her escape. She said that she still had the suspect's tongue in her mouth as she ran out of her house, so she spat it on the kitchen floor of her house. The woman got into her car and drove to a nearby gas station to call the police, since the cell phone was still inside her home. Police would find the suspect at a nearby Waffle House, of all places, a Waffle House, after his mommy called 911 to report her teenage son not having a tongue and needing medical assistance. The suspect was picked up and transported to the hospital. As for the intended victim, she only suffered a black eye and some scratches on her leg. It says police found the suspect's tongue inside the woman's home and put it on ice. No word if it was reattached to the original owner, though. So that was a pretty interesting story. I almost did a half-assed job reading it, too. Well, I did. I almost did it correctly, though. My last story, and it has to be a bad one. Thank you, Todd. Fox43.com. 15-year-old charged with running prostitution ring out of his mom's house. No, actually, it doesn't say if it's him or her. Prostitution ring out of mom's house. They don't specify either way. Spokane, Washington, a 15-year-old Washington teen has been charged with running a prostitution ring out of, wait a minute, is he out of his mother's house, according to court documents obtained by KHQ TV. According to the report, the mother received 25% of the profits. So I guess he was giving her some type of board that way. Documents shown the woman involved in the operation were as young as 14 years old, according to KHQ TV. The ring was reportedly uncovered when officials followed up a shooting investigation from earlier this year. So there you go. I think that was the last of my stories. It always has to end on a down note with Walter, unfortunately. I actually didn't intend to do that. It just happened to be that way. So I'm not going to look for any more stories because it is now midnight, so it's officially Friday morning. So everyone, hope you enjoyed parts of my show, I should say, maybe not everything, as I look for a new keyboard since my keyboard does not work correctly. So everyone, have a good night, and I'm signing off from the iWalter show on this Friday morning now that started on Thursday night. Have a good one, everyone. Thanks a lot for listening to me.